please put your hands together for Adam Oppenheimer.
Yo, give it up for the MC, everybody. How's it going? Yes, I am a Hoboken native. Okay? I thought, no, it's cool. It's cool. I thought the hometown hero would get a little bit more. So that's all. No, I am from here. I don't live here anymore. But, I feel like things in Hoboken, haven't changed that much since I grew up. When I was living here, the big tourist attraction that enticed people to come to the town was the Hermitage, right? And when I was growing up, I was told that the Hermitage was big, mostly because George Washington stayed there one time. And that's fine, one time. But you know where George Washington probably also slept? A lot of different places. He was a war general in the 1700s. He was moving around pretty consistently. You could pick any random patch of grass in the Northeast, start giving tours of it. There's a pretty good chance he was sleeping. Throw down some wooden teeth and axe. No, we don't even know if he liked it, there's no record of him coming back. That's if y'all got famous and then they started making a historical landmark out of an average Airbnb experience, If we had Yelp back then, we could probably know what he thought of it. The porridge was mid, the chambermaid looked a bit weird. I don't know what people did back then. But he only stayed there one time. It's you know what I think Hoboken's new slogan should be? Hoboken, we really hope you've never heard of Mount Vernon. No, I don't know. I also heard Hoboken was voted to be the wealthiest town in New Jersey as of last year, which is pretty impressive. But for the wealthiest town in New Jersey, you think you could get anyone to perform, and you got me? I bet you were talking to your friend before you came here, and you're like, hey, I'm going out to a show in the richest town in New Jersey. You know how you talk to your friend? And your friend was probably oh, you seen anybody big? No, it's a guy who grew up a block away. Oh, does he do stand-up a lot? He's never done it once. I have done it one other time, and it was at my aunt's funeral repast. Yeah, it was a prime place for comedy. Yeah, all the comedy greats say the repast gig is when they really got things figured out. Yeah. But to be clear, she asked me to do it. I wasn't just sitting there amongst the grieving going boring. This is pretty dour. Y'all are acting like somebody died in here. Let's liven this thing up. No, she asked me. And I said yes, because it's a dying person's wish. In the hierarchy of wishes, you don't really get any higher than dying wish. That's why Make-A-Wish kids have an almost authoritarian level of power. You gotta do it. So I did it. But I would say the one thing, if you're going to do stand-up at a funeral repast, and I pray you all get the chance, is make sure that the people know that stand-up comedy is gonna be happening at that repast. Because when I got there, I found out she told nobody. And it was pretty grim. Because if you do stand-up at a funeral repast, and they don't know it's coming, it does not look like stand-up comedy. It looks like a very vengeful act. It looked like you came out of the woodwork to make fun of that lady. It looked like, to those people, I was grieving very authentically. I was there for the funeral crying. I was there for the wake crying. And he's gonna get up at the repast. He's probably gonna say something very heartfelt. And what's he doing? He's making fun of her. What is going on? What did this lady do to him? He needs to seek professional help. He shouldn't be putting this on us. No, but it ended up going well. I did realize, though, I now set a precedent where I seem to be the most comfortable doing stand-up if someone just recently died. I don't know if anyone's feeling slightly unwell or sees a glimmer of light in the distance. But my advice, my sound medical advice, would be just to charge right at that leg. It would really make me feel better. No, I was nervous to do it. I mean, I'm nervous to do it now. I didn't know what I was going to say. for this entire time. For this whole week, I was thinking, like, what should I say? And this past week, 2 days ago, I was like, all right, I really got to figure this out. And I was going to a dinner with my girlfriend and my girlfriend's parents, where I was going to meet them for the first time. It's a very important dinner. I was dressed to the nines. I was looking like a snack. And I get on the subway in New York, and I pull out my phone, and I'm like, I'm going to start coming up with stuff now. I stare at my phone. Right then, a woman is running towards the open subway car, but the doors are about to close. And I don't want to look at her straight in the eye, because once you like lock eyes with someone, you're kind of designated to help in case they get like one arm in there. You gotta start pulling it over. So I didn't want to acknowledge her as a human being. But she ended up making it in the car. So I'm like, oh great, I don't have to do it. I pull out my phone to start coming up with ideas. And then suddenly, I hear this like blood-curdling scream. And I'm like, well, what? Maybe it's like a common subway stabbing. Maybe I'll have to get it. But I look up, and she's got a dog leash in her hand. And that, let me finish. If you can do it, I really want to do it myself. She had a dog leash in her hand. The dog leash was going out the subway door, which was now closed. The subway starts to move. I see a dog start flying. So I'm about to spring into action. But I kind of stopped for a second, because like, part of me needs to help. I love dogs. Part of me is like, this is like the bit I was waiting for. I kind of want to see how this plays out. But no, I put that aside. I spring into action. I go to pull the door open. Thankfully, with like a few feet of subway platform left, the subway stops. They get the dog on board. And everybody's good, except for the dog. The dog is not good. I look at that dog. I've never seen a more frazzled animal in my life. That dog is looking like there is going to be a difference between the relationship between pet and owner. It's kind of like when you see a couple friend who start arguing in public, but you know they can't like get to the heart of it. They can't like really get to it right then. They gotta wait till they get home. This dog was looking at this lady like, we are gonna talk about this. And I saw on the jacket of the dog, it was a service dog too. All the abilities of that service dog have now gone out the window. That service dog is gonna need a service dog. Yeah. But I'm glad it went that way, right? Because I still had to meet my girlfriend's parents. And if it had gone a worse way, and I showed up at that dinner, I mean, pretty frazzled. My girlfriend was probably preambling, telling the parents, like, he's so fun, he's so lighthearted. And then I get there with like a shell-shocked PTSD, like I just came back from Vietnam. Just like schizophrenic. Her dad's like, so Adam, what do you do for a living? I'm like, subway, dog. I love your dog. No, I am in a relationship. It's going well. We're about 4 or 5 months in, right? So it's kind of that sweet spot. You know what I'm going to say. You know what's coming. We've started hanging out with each other more. I've met her parents. And then that big moment comes where she looks you in the eye and she says, my ex just died. Yeah, her ex tragically passed away a few weeks ago, very suddenly. And you know, it's hitting everybody hard. I think it's hitting me the hardest though. It's pretty tough for me, yeah. Because I'm trying to be comforting, right? But it's a very difficult balance when you're trying to be comforting, but you also feel like you're kind of stroking the ego of the competition a little bit. Like she's saying all these positive things, like, oh, he was so nice, he was so lovely, and I'm like, yeah, but there's got to be like one negative about it. Like, come on, he wasn't that great. But it's tough. Like nobody ever says any bad things about the dead. They're always saying the good stuff. And I'm like competing against a highlight reel for this guy. Yeah, it's tough. I try and start like shoehorning fake memories for her to try and make up stuff that he didn't do to try and make him seem worse. So I'm like, yeah, isn't this the guy that like defunded that whole school system and kidnapped that baby? She's like, I don't think I said that. I'm like, I have a pretty good memory. I think you said that. And now she's talking about going to the funeral, which like, how insecure are we as men, right? Where it's like, I know he's dead, but part of me's like, what if something happens? I don't know. I feel like I gotta go with her, right? Just to monitor the situation, you know? Like I'll be there while she goes to pay her last respects. She comes back and I'm like, you were kind of up there a while. What were you two talking about? He's in a casket, he's embalmed. Dudes never dress up unless they're embalmed. That's the best a dude ever looks. I don't know. Then we go up and console the family. She's like, we all loved him so much. I kind of interject. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Love's a strange thing, right? Love's kind of all over the place. What is love, really? And she's like, I'm sorry, who are you? I'm like, oh. Sorry, I'm here to perform in his repast. All right, thank you, everybody.